Mr. President, in respect to our difficulties in South Vietnam, could it be that our government tends occasionally to get locked into a policy or an attitude and then finds it difficult to alter or shift that policy?
Yes, that's true. I think in the case of South Vietnam, we've been dealing with a government which is in control, has been in control for 10 years. In addition, we have felt for the last 2 years that the struggle against the communists was going better. Since June, however, the difficulties with the Buddhists, we've been concerned about a deterioration, particularly in the Saigon area, which hasn't been felt greatly in the outlying areas, but may spread. So we're faced with the problem of wanting to protect the area against the communists. On the other hand, we have to deal with the governments there. That produces a kind of ambivalence in our efforts, which expose us to some criticism. We are using our influence to persuade the government there to take those steps which will win back support. That takes some time, and we must be patient. We must persist.
Are we likely to reduce our aid to South Vietnam?
I don't think we think that that would be helpful at this time. If you reduce your aid, it's possible you could have some effect upon the government structure there. On the other hand, you might have a situation which could bring about a collapse. Strongly in our mind is what happened in the case of China at the end of World War II, where China was lost, weak government became increasingly unable to control events. We don't want that. On the other hand, we don't want a dictatorship that alienates people by its very repressions. So I think it's going to take some time before we bring an improvement in the Saigon area, or before the government improves its policies and its relations with the countries around the world. But I'm not sure it can't be done. In fact, I think it can be done.
Mr. President, has our government been late or tardy in recognizing the true nature of the Diem government?
There's been some difference of view. On the one hand, as I say, Diem has been in control for 10 years. Number two, there has been a better military result in the last 2 years. That's been on the encouraging side. Internally, however, there's been some, particularly the last 2 months, degree of concern, so that it's not a black and white situation. It's a matter which we have to work with. This is also true in South Korea. It's true in other governments around the world, in Latin America. We have to work through the people that are there, through the governmental structure that is there. We can't bring about overnight changes. They won't accept them and probably be unwise. The United States can't write the bill for every country. But I think we can use our influence, but I think we have to recognize that it takes some time.
We don't want to get into the business of knocking over and building other governments.
We want to... Particularly, we want to influence events which will bring success. Now, that's been done in some cases. And as I say, we have reason to be encouraged ultimately about South Vietnam. What has concerned us, however, is the course that events have taken in the last weeks.